Krampus, or Krampus if you say it with a German accent I guess, is a new holiday horror film from the same director of Trick or Treat. If you haven't seen Trick or Treat, it's a very excellent anthology horror film, and it's probably the best film I've seen that captures the spirit of Halloween. This film, Krampus, is about the spirit of Christmas and kind of scaring you into getting into the spirit. It's about a kid and his dysfunctional family during the holidays, and he just kind of wishes that Christmas would be like it once was. Eventually, he gets so upset that he tears up his letter to Santa and throws it out the window, and that summons the Krampus. The family is held up in their house because of the snowstorm that cut off the power and like the cell towers and everything, so they're just stuck here in this isolated area while Krampus's minions start picking them off. Now, the opening sequence in this movie is probably one of my favorites from this year. It just opens with this store having this big sale, and then people are just trampling over each other. And it reminds me a lot of the beginning sequence from Zombieland, though in Zombieland it had the title credits actually interact more with the footage. In this opening sequence, it's just showing that, yeah, everybody in this world thinks that Christmas is just this consumer holiday now. And throughout the beginning of the movie, you see that everybody doesn't really have that Christmas spirit. And that most of the kid's family is actually deserving of being killed by the Krampus, or his minions, I guess. Though I will say that the first person that gets it in the movie really didn't deserve it. Or maybe that's just because compared to the other people, she wasn't as bad. I see a lot of sites describing this as a horror comedy, but it's not really. It has comedy elements in it, but the horror in it is actually played straight. It's not too scary, it's PG-13, but it's still kind of a fun kind of horror. They actually use quite a bit of practical effects with puppetry and costumes. There is some CGI, like with the gingerbread men, and a bit with Krampus when you see him leaping on top of houses, but when he's standing in front of the other characters, that's practical effects. I was surprised to see there was actually an animated sequence in this movie, when the grandmother Omi tells her story about what happened to her when she saw the Krampus. I completely unexpected that, and it was actually a really nice treat in the middle of the movie. This isn't the greatest horror film, or greatest horror film about a holiday. Trick or Treat was better than this, but Krampus is still probably the best holiday movie this season. It's certainly the best movie about Krampus, because there's been a ton of those recently. There's been a weird resurgence of holiday horror movies. If it's something you're interested in seeing, give it a watch. It's not the worst Christmas movie you could see this year. Anyway, if you've seen Krampus or Krampus, tell me what you thought down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'd like to give thanks to my patrons this month. Thank you so much for supporting me. It really helps out a lot. And if you'd like to support me, click the annotation for the Patreon link. And if you want more movie reviews, click the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.